guys, Kelvin. Welcome back to another video. If you're new to this channel, I'm a property developer from London. I've been in the industry for 10 years just because of my background as a project manager and developer. And this channel is basically talking about the highs and lows of property investing to ultimately allow you to live the life you want and become financially free. In this video, I'm going to take you through a quick update on our project. This is a 3 to 6 bed HMO in Manchester. Come on in. The first thing you're going to realize is the property's gone back to brick. Obviously, what would have been on top of this is literally just the plaster. So the first thing the builders do when they get in and get the keys is take the whole property back to brick. The main reason we take it back to brick is because this is an asset we are going to hold and keep for years and years to come. We want to understand exactly what's in it, so when problems happen, we know, okay, property was plastered in 2024. We just know where everything is, right? On top of that, you'll see throughout the property, everything has been stripped back. The ceilings have also been hacked away. The timber in the ceiling is also there to just drop the ceiling. That just allows a lot of the services to run above. Let's go into bedroom 1 and I'll take you through some more changes. This is obviously was their previous lounge. It's amazing when you see a property and it's actually been taken back to brick, because you literally understand these properties were literally made years and years ago and the structure is still pretty strong. First thing you'll notice is obviously been taken back to brick. There was a chimney stack here, which we have obviously taken out. Before doing so, we had to obviously have party wall agreements, which is basically a notice to each side, basically let them know, hey, we plan to do these works. It could affect your walls, but it's not going to. Please take some pictures. Any damages, our builder will be covering that damage for you. Obviously, you can see the first fix joinery has happened. So that's all the timber work you're seeing on the walls. This is an ensuite. This is just blocked up because there's tools in there in a minute. On top of that, we've had the lower half of the walls tanked. Tanking is literally just putting a barrier so that no damp moisture can come into the rooms. We've done it all at low level because that's where the damp is going to rise from. Another thing that happened more recently is we have pinpointed the locations of certain things ready for our first fix electrics. So for example, what's going to happen is we're going to have a bed here. This consumer unit is going to be coming out and the X marks a spot for a socket. Under the window, we're going to have a radiator, which is then going to have a desk above that. Another socket in the corner. Ensuite is obviously there. I think that's all for this room. Obviously, another thing to mention is we're going to have some wardrobes in this space. It's quite a decent space. We're going to try and maximize it. And then we're going to have chest of drawers at low level, more than likely with a TV sat on top. So now we're in the open plan kitchen space. Before, you would remember that this was a lounge. This is obviously going to become the communal space. Obviously, again, been taken back to brick. A lot of the first fix joinery is taking place. This is the biggest room, so currently the builders are using it as like their main working space. Again, lower half of the walls have been tanked throughout at ground level. We have marked on the walls the different locations. We haven't been able to do all of the pinpointing in terms of location because we still are not finalized the kitchen design. So that's something that's still outstanding. So another thing is, obviously we had a massive chimney here, and obviously you can see how much space this now allows us to have in this room. What the plan is to have literally a kind of U-shaped kitchen going all the way around this side. So obviously it wouldn't have worked to keep the chimney stack in. Another thing is to meet the local requirements for room sizes, we need to have usable space. So in order to have certain amounts of usable space, we need to remove things like chimneys that are just wasting space for us. Some changes that we've basically made as of yesterday, we were gonna have some sort of seating plan, like a little nook in this area. We think it's eaten up into the space a bit too much for what we like. So I'm gonna go back to the interior designer and basically ask them to omit that. Another thing, it will help us bring the cost down because that was a bespoke piece of joinery. So we no longer need to do that. Another thing is we're gonna have a custom built bench here. I think for this project, what we're just going to do is get a freestanding table, get some high chairs, put a TV on the wall, and this will be a communal space for the guys to use. Now that we're not having the seating in here, the fridge freezers can nicely fit in this area here, and I feel like that's going to be a perfect spot. Nothing else to show in here at the minute. I'll take you into bedroom 2. So just coming in from the kitchen, which we've just showed you, this area was an extension, and in the previous house, this would have been the old kitchen. It's crazy because now you can see how space is just immediately transformed. In this area here, we're gonna have a double stacked washer dryer. So at low level, there's gonna be washing machine, and stacked on top is gonna be a dryer. That'll be housed in a box, so it's kind of tucked away. And then this enclosure to the right is the ensuite. It's been built because this door here is now gonna form the entrance to what's bedroom 2. And if you remember, bedroom 2 is gonna now be the garage which is at the back of the house. I will quickly show you what the ensuite looks like. Pretty much a plain space, but there'll be a door here. I'm assuming we'll come in, there'll be some sort of sink. The shower will probably be on this point, and then the toilet on that point. Another thing to remember is with these kind of things, you need to just remember where the flue pipe is gonna come out for the toilets. What is then gonna happen is this wall is gonna be knocked through. We're gonna then have to raise the roof on the garage, and then we're either gonna have 3 steps down onto the level of the garage, or we're gonna raise the floor in the garage so it's one continuous level going through. At the minute, we don't know what's going on, but I'll let you know in a future video what we decide to do. In this space, we're probably gonna make use of the space because it's just a good space. Probably perfect for a wardrobe, but again, in a future video, I'll update you. Let's quickly go into the garage and just show you a bit more there. So out in the garden, at the minute, nothing's been happening here. Obviously, it's very dirty, dusty. What I'm thinking to do is at some point, change the panels for the actual neighbors as well. Paint them a nice little black so that this area is kind of quirky in its sense. It's not big enough to have any seating or stuff. So we're just gonna try and make it the most appealing area. Maybe a chair, little table, another chair, but that's the most we can do with the space we have. Going straight into the garage. At the minute, nothing much has happened in here. The current proposal, as I think I may have described before, is to build a brick wall here, and then this area here will double up as a bike store, or maybe even just storage for us as the owners. Excess cleaning material, we're gonna have cleaners every 2 weeks, so they can come in and have this. And then this space up to the brick wall is gonna be the bedroom number 2. So if you remember, on that side of the wall is literally where the ensuite stops here. This is where we're gonna open up, and then there'll be steps down. I think the floor level inside is probably just above this air brick. So then we need to have already 1, 2, 3 steps down onto this floor, and then this will be the bedroom. We're currently thinking whether to just extend all the way back so that this is just one big room. It'll be the biggest room in the house, so we're really happy about that. Or do we need the extra space for some sort of storage? Still undecided. And as I said just now, taking the roof up is something that we're currently able to do. A good hack is that this is able to be done under permitted development. So that means we don't need to go for planning, and we also didn't have to build this garage, so we've saved cost on that front. This is why this door really stuck out to us. That's all for the garage. So just coming up to bedroom number 3. So before, you guys remember, there was a corridor here, and on the floor, there was a toilet here. We've now created this open plan space. I like this room because although it's not the biggest, it's got 2 windows, which is something you don't often get for a room of this size. And also, this is the only room to have an off suite. So literally the bathroom that would have been inside the room isn't able to fit in here. So I'll show you where that is in a second. Unfortunately, this chimney can't be taken out because it's linked next door. The proposal at the minute is to have the bed far that side. There'll be a chest of drawer somewhere there. Again, making use of the space we've got. There's a bit of a nook here, so it makes sense to have the wardrobe somewhere in this space. So that will kind of open up in this front. There'll be a radiator down here at the end of the bed. And then if you're laying in bed there, you'll be watching TV, which will be up against this wall. And we're thinking to have a desk either here or here at the minute. I think the desk is going to go here at low level. We think this room works really well. You kind of just come in and you see a bit of an open space, and obviously we're going to make it as cozy as possible for whoever's in here. So I'm going to quickly show you the off suite and where that is. So again, on this corridor, everything's been completely opened up. There's a few changes which I'll confirm. One thing that we made sure we didn't exclude is keeping this skylight. So it just naturally allows a lot of light in here, so we really wanted to keep it. So in terms of the off suite, a change that was before, that was going to be eaten into this room. However, we realized bedroom number 4 will be a lot smaller. So what we had to do is take some space from bedroom number 5. So before, this was going to be the start of bedroom number 5, where the original door was. But instead, we had to eat into this space and create an ensuite in this area. So that's the ensuite. We've done the best we could with the space we have. And it just goes to show in property, sometimes things do change. But if you have big enough floor plates and you understand projects and you think through different scenarios, you should always be able to make it happen. The thing about HMOs is the floor area that is able to be used is very important, because every room needs to meet a minimum size for the local authority. In our council, the minimum amount that needed to be met is 9 meters squared. At the minute, some of these rooms are like 9.5 or 10 plus meters squared. So we're still meeting the requirements, and that should be fine. Let's go to bedroom 4. Bedroom 4, if you remember, again, there was a chimney stack here where we had the leak coming in. The roof has been obviously fixed, and now this property is now watertight. In this room, again, some changes. Like I said, this was gonna be eaten up to create a off suite for bedroom number 3. But we wanted to basically make this person's experience as best as possible. So we've put in a 50p style ensuite. You'll see now the shower tray will be here, which will allow the person to kind of walk in. There'll be a sink and toilet Very simple. The big thing with floor plans, they can change and they're just a guide on where furniture is going to be. But when it comes to first fix electrics, i.e. where the sockets and power is going to go, it's very important that once you decide the locations, you stick to them. So what we did in bedroom 4 is we actually came in the room and spoke out with our builder the different options. So we realized that with the size of the room and how we wanted the room to flow, the headboard will be against this wall, and then there'll be a TV and maybe a chest of drawers underneath. And then with this little cozy corner we have here, we can have a desk which allows the person to just get out of bed, get to their desk. A good thing as well is because we have this open space, it's a perfect spot for a wardrobe. And because we're going to need to provide a chest of drawer, what we said is basically we're going to have a bespoke unit which has some drawers at the bottom, which takes away the need for additional piece of furniture. So there'll be a chest of drawers at the bottom and then hopefully a double rail wardrobe above. That will mean just a wardrobe, TV, bed, desk should make this room feel as big as it can be for not the biggest of rooms. I think that's it in here for updates. Let's go to bedroom number 5. Currently in bedroom number 5, this is the ensuite enclosure for this bedroom. Like I mentioned, we had to eat into this room, which was the biggest room, just to create space for bedroom number 3. So what is going to happen is we're going to have the door to this bedroom open this way, the bed will be located in this corner, and then there'll be a bedside table. We have to be creative with the space we've got, and we've created a little opening to this section. We'll then need to get a bespoke piece of furniture directly in here, which will allow the person to just have their wardrobe tucked away. It will count as usable space, so that's good. On this side is the bed is going to end up somewhere here, so we've got this space to play with for a desk, which I think makes most sense under the window. Lots of natural light. There'll be a socket at low level, and then on this corner, because the bed's going to be there, we're going to have a TV on a bracket. Perfect setting for them laying in bed. Ensuite, again, similar arrangement to bedroom 2, which is going to be the garage. Literally come in, sink in the front, toilet to the left, shower to the other side. First floor landing. Things to mention is obviously we have decided to keep this skylight as mentioned just now. The ceiling is going to be dropped because again, with all the waste and pipe work for the toilets, we just run everything above. Still meets the ceiling heights we need, so that's fine. An additional cost which we've decided is to put a cupboard in this hallway here. It just means the boiler can be housed in here, and we can obviously stick some other bits and bobs for the tenants to use also in that cupboard, like hoovers, etc. So guys, that is the end of the tour. I just want to say thank you for obviously taking the time to watch this video. In the next update, what I realized is I'm going to try and show you guys the project probably more every 2 weeks now. 4 weeks, there's a lot of things changing, and I want to really add value and offer you guys the experience of coming along with me on the refurb. The next video is going to obviously show you the more up-to-date things. We're going to do first fix. There'll be hopefully be some bathrooms and plaster on the wall. But for now, this has been Kelvin. Thank you so much, and catch you on the next one.